This is the magical land of Yeld. It's a portal fantasy role-playing game where you play children who go through a magical door and end up in the land of Yeld. In order to get home, you have to defeat the 7 hunters of Yeld, which hold the 7 magical keys which open the door. Characters in this game are called friends, and they are made of dice. The dice come in a few different categories. You have core dice, which are strong, tough, smart, and brave, each of which has a score representing the amount of dice that you have, as well as special dice for special abilities and additional skills, and borrowed dice, which you get by borrowing them from equipment you have on you or spells that have been cast on you. When you need to resolve a conflict, that's when you start using your dice. You roll a number of d6s equal to your core dice, and any special dice or borrowed dice that are relevant, and you roll them either against another friend or against the GM, who rolls dice for the obstacle or monster that you are encountering. The higher total wins. Outside of combat, some of the consequences for losing a roll could be losing one of your core dice, or simply not accomplishing the task that you wanted to do. Combat is where things get a little more in-depth. It takes place on an 8x8 grid called the Action Grid. 8x8 is useful because you can use a chess or checkers board if you don't have the board specific to the magical land of Yeld or want to find one and print one out on your own. Combat is broken into turns and rounds. A round is where everybody gets a turn, and on a turn, you can move and take an action. You can move as far as the amount of brave dice you have, that amount of squares, and for an action, you can move again, or you can attack, or use a spell, or any other number of things that involve rolling dice. At the end of your turn, you select the next friend or monster who gets to go, but the opposing team, or even your own team, can interrupt to go early. Now, only one person can do this per turn pass, and you have to have not taken your turn yet in order to do so. In order to attack, you use your strong and your weapon dice most of the time. Ranged weapons, it can be a little bit different, and when you do damage, when you successfully do an attack, you take away one of your opponent's tough dice. If they reach 0 tough, they die. However, death is not the end in the land of Yeld. They become a ghost and can only do ghost actions. Ghost actions are a little less impactful, but they are very interesting. Like, you can spook, which makes a monster can't use any special dice. They can only use their core dice. You can haunt, which means the next time that your target casts a spell, they actually get a magical disaster, which is something very, very bad. Additionally, there's something called the action chain, which means that for every successful player action, the next person gets bonus dice. This ends when you fail an action or when the round ends.